was sad because my dad sat next to me in the hospital room crying.
So glad you had the right people. You made the call. You got to the hospital.
I need something to take the pain away without having to die. So I never wanted my
Yeah.
life to go so south.
Welcome to the Rain From Within show. We got Mia DiMetro. Dude, it rhymes. Let's go. We got Mia. She's a beast. She's coming on the show today. And this is a show episode where one person sits down and they're going to tell us the true version of what they came through, not the cleaned up version. All right, the scars and all. We're going to be diving into turning adversities into strength right here. Mia's got a phenomenal story. And this is the first time she's ever been on a show like this. So major props to having the courage to share her story as well. She's put 4 hard years behind her, a ton of stuff in her words, one thing stacked on the next, and she came out on the other side, founding herself, and she's in a place now where she's genuinely happy than ever. She just joined the brand about 30 days ago. She already crushed the 28 Arc Challenge, and before that, she dove into a massive transformation, starting in a space where she genuinely was so rock bottom, she overdosed, and she almost lost it all. But thankfully, she climbed back. She's going to talk all about it today. And yes, we get into the gym, her dogs, her mindset, what happens when you flip that switch and decide you're done being who you were. So I think a lot of people will resonate with her story. Make sure you guys like the episode, comment your biggest takeaway, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss other ones. And if you want to be a part of the movement, go to strength.com/athlete and be a part of what we're building, this awesome community of all these different guests on the show crushing their lives. Let's go in the best way possible. So let's dive into it. Mia, let's go.
All right, Mia. Well, thanks for coming on the pod. You're a beast.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, dude, people got to hear about you. So you said that the past 4 years you held a lot, right? And before we get into that, like you said, you finally found yourself and you're happy with where you're at now. So where does your story start for you? I don't know how far back you want to go, but like walk me through growing up and such.
Well, everything was great when I was a kid. Everything was great. I did my stuff, was always outside doing stuff, played sports a lot. Was always active. Childhood was great. I can't complain. But then I feel like it really just got a lot worse when like high school into college hit. And that's where it really went downhill very fast, faster than I ever expected my life to go downhill.
Yes. So what was your life like before all this? Like back when you were an athlete, right? So you played rugby, right?
Well, I played that in college. That was a little bit during everything. And then I played field hockey and tennis in high school.
Okay. Sick. Dude, racket sports, I give y'all a lot of credit. It's hard, dude. Eye coordination, I ain't like that.
No, I love tennis. It was my favorite thing to do.
Dude.
I used to play when I was like 5 and 6. And then when I moved, I was a child. So I was like nervous playing with other people. Sorry. I played again in high school and I was the only freshman to play varsity. So I was very proud of myself. But sports in high school were great. I was always doing something, running around.
Yeah,
Sorry.
dude. Let's go. Okay, so, by the way, how do you pronounce your last name? Is it DiMetro?
DiMetro.
DiMetro?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, yes, you were a lifelong athlete, rugby player in college. And when did this breakup happen? If you don't mind talking about it a little bit, like when did this happen?
It happened the early spring semester of my freshman year of college.
Okay. Because I think a lot of the viewers are going to be able to resonate with the story of both, first off, heartbreak, right? Having to deal with a breakup. Mm-hmm. We all have to have, I think, that one person before we find our real person. Sometimes not always, right? I know some people that were together since they were 13 years old that got married from my high school, which is insane. Yeah. That's so rare, though. So, yeah, and sometimes they can end a little rough, right? And you talked a little bit about, let's start with, I don't want to dive too far into it for the viewers. Let's get to know you a little bit more first, Mia. So your relationship from high school ended, right? And then you had some friends and they started coming after how you looked online. They're bullying a little bit. So what did that do in the way you saw yourself, and what were they exactly doing?
They were the sad part. What is it was like months after the breakup, so I was really just thought everything was over. So I was like, okay, do my own thing, like get my life back on track, like whatever. And it was like 2, 3 months after, and I was at work, and like I'm on my break, and I go into my phone, and they're like DMing me pictures of like BMI charts with like the weight that wasn't even accurate, nothing, and it wasn't even like I was like huge at that time either. Like it was just like they were just mean people, and they always were. Like they were very shallow, and I sat there and I was like, this has been 3 months since. Why are we attacking you now? And I was just like truly so upset. I broke down at work, and I like luckily my coworkers at the time were wonderful, so they're like, do what you need to do, like. And it just I don't know. I just from that I was like, wait, maybe like it starts to get messing with you, and you're like, wait, maybe I am. And after that moment, like I literally rarely ate. Like I only ate in front of my family, so they would knew I was eating, so they didn't get suspicious for months.
Yeah. So for the viewers listening, like you broke up, and then who was the ones like talking crap? Was it like
His
original
friends.
friends of yours? Okay, it was original. Were you ever cool with those guys before?
I
Or
hung
no?
out with them all the time, and I went to high school
Okay.
with all of them.
Sounds like a cope. Sounds like they were just trying to maybe help him move on.
But it was like months after, so I was like, this is kind of weird.
Yeah.
But
I
I don't know.
think well, I'll say this. I think like I'm not trying to justify his actions at all, but I think guys, they take a little bit longer to get over a girl. But the girl's more
Yes.
like intense from the beginning. Like the first month, especially after, girls have a lot harder time getting over it, but then you move on faster. Guys
Mhm.
sometimes so do you mind sharing like who ended it? Was it you ended it, or did
It
he
was
end it?
him.
Is he okay? Yeah. So like double whammy. He ends it, and then his friends are doing dumb stuff. That's not cool. So did you? What'd you do? Did you call him out, or did you just kind of
I
like?
I
Yeah.
didn't really say there was nothing much I could say. I just like texted back, and I was like, this is so stupid. This is rude. And like I saw him like a couple months later after that while I was still like struggling because my one of his friends was is my neighbor at home. So they had a party at his friend's house, and a couple of my friends came over to my house to say hello. And he starts walking onto my yard, and I was like, get the hell away from me. Like I can't deal with this right now. Like I'm like, you're not allowed on my
Yeah.
property. But I haven't seen
Yeah.
him or anything since. But I don't want to fill my life with negative people. And that was something that I would never think in my life that I would ever have to go through. Something like that bad.
Yes. I'm sorry you had to go through that, but as we always talk about scars to strength, you became
Mhm.
stronger out of it, right? You learned through the situation, and yeah, it sucked in the moment. And we're gonna dive into more of the darker moments, but then we're gonna get to the light, right? So, how does something that starts as words on a screen end up changing the way that you ate every day?
I think I was just so down anyways, like I was still like going through it. And I was like, okay, like I was fine with the breakup, but it was just like, I think I was just really hurt because as a girl, like, someone makes a comment, like we tend to get a little more sensitive faster. So I felt like I probably did get too sensitive too fast. But I don't know, I just let it absorb like every bit about me where the only thing I thought about was like when I'm not eating and making a whole schedule of when I'm going to eat for the day and when to not eat.
Mhm.
Where like even my friends like would like get mad at me because I wasn't eating and start yelling at me because there was nothing they could do because they wouldn't be able to shove anything and make me eat anything. It was just so I don't even
Yeah.
know. I just consumed me so much where like I just stopped. Like I was just like I'll eat when I'm home with my parents and I'll eat if I'm with like people that don't know me. And then after that, like I don't for the rest of the day. And it would be like something
Mhm.
little, like not, overexerting too much, which was weird because like my family, we eat a lot. Like it's in our blood. So it's
Yeah.
very strange to not eat. But it was way too easy than it should have been, which was really sad.
Mhm. So you mentioned as well that the way you lost, you said it was muscle. A lot of it was muscle, and you've always had that athletic build. So what did that feel like to watch your strength disappearing?
It was weird because I've always had like like muscular like legs and everything. And like it was weird because I was like sitting there and I would just like take like like take pictures with my friends like doing stuff, and I'm like I look exactly the same. And then when I go like with myself later, I'm like there's no muscle, there's nothing, and I was like this is not me at all. And it was quite sad because I've always
Yeah.
loved like having muscle, like being muscular. Like, it was my favorite part about myself, and then it was gone in like a snap.
Okay, I want to go back to the breakup really quick, just so we're on the same page. So he ended it. How long did it take you, do you think, to move on fully?
Like a month. We didn't
Dang.
date for
How
too
long did you
long.
guys? Okay, got you.
It was
Got you.
like we started dating at the end of our senior year, so it was it was like 9 months. But the
Okay.
only thing that was weird about it was he was like obsessed with me my whole high school experience basically.
Oh,
And
that's
then we
awesome.
finally got the chance, yeah, at the
Yeah,
end of our
I
high
hear
school.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, and I don't. I said at the very beginning, like sometimes girls might move on really fast and guys don't. It's not always like that. Obviously, I just want to make sure the viewers know that because I gotta cover myself. Because, dude, I like speaking from experience. I dated a girl for like a year, and I feel like I didn't fully move on for almost a year or so. Like it genuinely, like you never know. It depends on
Yeah.
how long you guys hang out, how old you guys are, emotional maturity. So everyone grieves in different instances, but it's never okay at the end of a relationship to be bashing your partner. I think that shows a lot of immaturity on their part, especially that he was allowing that. So I just want to apologize on behalf of him. That's not cool. And yeah, dude. So what finally made leaving college halfway through your sophomore year feel like the only option you had left?
Because I wasn't eating, and then like my mental health, like that just doesn't help your mental health because you're already doing something negative for yourself. So it's easier
Mhm.
for your negative thoughts to keep consuming you. So I think I couldn't even focus on anything. Like I was failing, like assignments that were easy that I could have done like so simply, and I just failed everything. Where I would even talk to my mom when I finally told her what I was going
Mm.
through, and she was like, "This makes sense because I can see your grades and you're not performing how like you normally do." And I was like, I know, but it just got worse. Like I just like, and I'm a person that I don't tell people how I'm feeling unless they ask.
Mhm.
And even then,
Yeah.
like I wrote in there, it's like I'm the friend that's like has all the energy. So if we're gonna do something, like I'm not letting anything I'm going through going to ruin anything, and I'm not gonna sit here and let you guys know what I'm going through. I just want it to be more of like a if you need help, I'm gonna help you because that's my goal. Like my goal is to help people and make sure they never feel the way I ever did. So
Exactly. Yeah, you're the type of person that nobody probably suspected was struggling and the one that was smiling and helped everybody else. So that must have taken a lot of work to actually keep that mask on too, right? Like you're trying to just make sure everybody else is doing good. Little do they know you're actually the one struggling the most that could use the help the most.
yeah, I don't like when people have to deal with my problems because I feel like I'm not like I feel like a burden. It's just there's so much
Mhm.
good to do. Like, so if I could distract myself by seeing my friend for a couple hours and not talking about it, I'd rather do that than
Yeah.
sit there and let it consume me even more by talking about it. But I wasn't doing well, so I was like, I'm not gonna sit here in college and waste this money that I'm spending on school when I'm not even doing what I can and I physically can't at the moment perform the way I want to perform. So there was
Yeah.
no way I was gonna be able to sit there and continue. When the only reason I stayed as long as I did was because I was playing rugby, and that was my favorite part of college.
When did your ACL tear and meniscus surgery happen?
That was 3 years ago. I got the memories of my
Okay.
MRI was today, 3 years ago.
Dang. Happy anniversary. I'm just kidding. Oh yeah. Hey, a year ago today, I got parasites in Mexico. It sucked.
Oh my god.
Sometimes. Yeah, it's brutal.
Oh.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that was with Diego. Ironically, I was with Diego hanging out. We were wakeboarding, having a good time, and all of a sudden, we're like, "Oh gosh, we don't feel too good." Year ago today, memories told me. But yeah, so sometimes that kind of crap happens with your health, and that meant rugby was off the table, right? When you had to do the surgery
Mhm.
to wrap up the season of being an athlete in that regard, how did losing your sport on top of everything else land for you? Did that take another hit at your mental health?
Yeah, it always did. Like it was my mental health was already deteriorating, and then stuff happened, and then a month later I had to get surgery, and completely like my ACL was completely shredded. My meniscus
Yeah.
was literally ripped in half, where even the doctor was like, at first I didn't know what that was.
Yeah.
And then I was in physical therapy for a year, just trying to be able to do be able to do anything again. Like I couldn't drive for 2 months, nothing. Where it was just like, it was sad. Like it sucks being having to sit. Like if I'm forced to sit down for 2 months and not do anything with my life, that sucks.
Yeah.
And even after those
100%.
2 months, when I can get off the couch again, I can't work out because I have to go to physical therapy because my leg physically cannot bend past a certain degree, because I'm forcing myself to do that at physical therapy, and they're literally pushing my leg to move as much as I can, but it takes forever. So I think that was the hardest part, was that I couldn't really do anything, and I was just so upset because I couldn't play rugby, and I even tried playing again after. It just didn't feel the same. And I even don't think it will ever feel the same, which is the sad part, because I want to play. But I don't know. I just get nervous because I'd rather not hurt myself again.
Yeah. Well, the good news is that's why with team strength, we call ourselves strength athletes, right? It's not just about having to be on the field, kicking butt, laying down other people with rugby. Like, dude, that's an awesome sport that you were involved in. And I got major admiration for you in that regard, because it's like football, but maybe even more intense, right? We're strength athletes. We treat ourselves like athletes. We don't have to worry about, I just posted on my Instagram story what I'm making for food right now. I had made show my breakfast. Like, you got to fuel your body, right? You got to fuel for energy. It's way more than just being a performer on the field. You're still an athlete, Mia, right? And that is something that you get to take with you your whole life. So can you walk me through what probably one of the darkest seasons in your life? You said you got to a point of overdosing. Is that true?
Yeah, I overdosed. 6 months after I left school, because I just never
Okay.
my mental health just got worse and worse and worse, till one day I was like, it was late. It was 12:30 in the morning, and I was like, I can't. And it's not like I wanted to die. I guess it wasn't that. It was just, I need something to take the pain away without having, without having to die. So I never wanted my
Yeah.
life to go so south. It's just I needed something, and I think it was just something so other people would see that it wasn't as simple as everyone thought it was, where it's just oh, she's just depressed. No, it's much more than that, and no one can see that. I'll tell you that, and you'll look at me like, well, you'll be fine. You look happy. No, I'm not happy. I can wear a mask as long as I want. I've done it for years.
Right.
And I think it was just, I literally grabbed the first thing in the cabinet and just laid him out. And it was, I don't even remember. All I remember is getting woken up by my boss because she was at my house, because I was supposed to be at work the next day. And I drove to work.
You drove your house?
Yeah. And I drove to work that day, and then I got there and I sat in the parking lot, called my dad, and I was like, I need to tell you something. Because none of my parents were home. They were at work, and I called them, and I was like, I'm sending you my boss's phone number. She's inside. I was like, I can't go inside right now because I just threw up. That's what happens when stuff like that happens. And I drove home, and literally, luckily, my mom pulled in the driveway as soon as I got home, and they drove me straight to the hospital. And I was in there for 3 or 4 days. Yeah, it was quite sad. My dad, it was sad because I'm an only child, so my parents and I are very close, and they're wonderful people. They're wonderful role models, everything. And it was sad because my dad sat next to me in the hospital room, crying, telling me I don't know why you couldn't just talk to me. I feel like I failed, and I was like, it wasn't you. I was like, I was gonna break eventually. I was like, I'm surprised it happened now. I was hoping I'm gonna get over it, but it didn't happen. It had to happen this way.
Gosh, Mia, you're very strong for sharing that. And I think a lot of people listening will be able to resonate with your story of just, it's a culmination of everything we've spoke about so far on just different BS that probably it just got you over to the tipping point. You're like, I'm done. And I'm so glad you had the right people. You made the call. You got to the hospital. You had to be there for a few days, but you're here now. And think about how much different life is now, right? I want to talk about a year ago. You said you looked at yourself and you said, "This isn't you." Okay, you said that, and can you walk me through that moment of what was going through your head? Because we're getting to the light at the end of the tunnel, like the more positive stuff. So, yeah, what happened a year ago?
I don't know. I just like, I don't even know. I just looked at myself and I was like, this is not you. Like, why don't we take our life back into control? Like, because I still like never shed the weight off from when I got my surgery and gained
Mm-hmm.
weight that I've never gained in my entire life, the biggest I've ever been, because I've always been like athletic. And I was like, this isn't me. I was like, let's do this thing. So I started like not crazy like cutting or crazy anything, because like it's hard to start that way. But I was like, okay, we're gonna drop half of this out of my diet. We're gonna start sticking to this kind of stuff, and we're gonna go to the gym at least 5 times a week, just to push myself to go do something. And I had a membership anyway, so I was like, perfect, we're gonna go. Because I would go to the gym like here and there beforehand, but nothing crazy where I was actually like doing anything really.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just
Mm-hmm.
like. But then I was like, we're gonna do it, and I stuck to it for. It's been maybe like 11 months of consistent lifting.
Let's go. So, what is the weight difference been? I know it's not everything. It's a lot of body recomp, probably gaining muscle,
Yes.
losing fat.
Mhm.
Is it about like pretty similar weight, or I gotta you? We'll post like before and after pics if you want to share it for your intro. But
Mhm.
yeah, like but beyond just physically, how do you feel? Like, what did flipping that switch in your brain actually do? Like, what did it look like from day one? It sounds like it was the non-negotiables of going to the gym 5 days a week. What
Mhm.
else would you attribute to that?
I feel like the mindset. The mindset's what's the most important. Without the mindset, you can't do anything. If I
Mm-hmm.
told myself I should go to the gym, but I didn't have the want or the need or even just the push, like I wouldn't go. I would sit here and be like, I should, but like we'll go tomorrow. I think it's more of the mindset. If you have the mindset and you're like, I'm going to do this today, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. You can do anything.
Do you think you could have made as much progress so fast if you didn't have the chip on your shoulder of like how much did you lean into maybe the dark fuel? Because I talk about that in my book a little bit of like, past bullies or
Mhm.
past tribulations, like having to get surgery and such. How much of that did you lean into with the inputs and the outputs you ended up getting?
I feel like not too much, because I'm one of the people that I don't like to let other, like after what everything that's happened, I don't like letting positive or negatives from other people just like interfere with my life, because at the end of the day, they're not the one making the change, I am. So it's
Right.
more of like a let's do this because this is what I see for yourself. I see this for me,
Mm.
and that's what I'm gonna do for me. And I leaned into a little bit because I'm like, we're gonna show them all wrong, but I'm like, who cares? I'm like, we don't know. No one cares about them. We're gonna do what we need to do for us. Because I like all you have is yourself. At the end of the day, like have friends, whatever. Like you're the one person that you're always gonna be stuck with. So make yourself the better version that you can be.
People will spend so much time trying to invest into other relationships they have, and they don't even spend 10 minutes to get to know themselves.
Exactly. And I
You're
think
going to
like
be with yourself your whole life.
the gym has definitely helped me like get to know me more, especially like after
Mm.
everything, like really just like lock in and be like, okay, well, we've been fine for like a year, but we haven't really done anything, so let's do this. And like I go to the gym by myself. Like I'll go with my friends once in a while, only if they want to like work out with me and like have me help them with workouts. But I go by myself, and it's just like makes me so happy. Like I have to go. Like I have to. On rest days, I
Yes.
hate sitting home. I get so mad.
Feel that.
I was like, this sucks.
Yeah. Hey, when did you join Strength? Do you remember?
About 28 days ago, because my
Yeah.
arc finishes today. Today's the last
Yeah.
day.
'Cause you've been so like that's awesome that this is your last day today. You've been so active. It feels like I've known you for longer than I actually have. So how has the last 28 days been and your experience with Strength so far? For anyone listening that's interested in maybe being a part of it, like what have you
I,
seen?
I think it's wonderful. I think it's great having like a community of people that all have similar interests and like just bettering themselves. It doesn't have to be like exercise or like it can be anything, but we're all here for one reason, to better ourselves as a community and just make great connections, which I think is wonderful. Because like
Yeah.
you can have people at your gym, and I'm like, ugh, I don't want to talk to anyone. But it's nice to have like everyone in the community where like we all live like completely different places, but we all have one goal that we're working towards that's the same: how to make ourselves better. And I think that's
Mhm.
wonderful. And I've had multiple calls with Diego and Bryce, and they're wonderful. I've sat on the phone with them, and I laugh so hard on the phone with them every time they have a call with me. I think it's wonderful. I love it. But
Dude.
everyone's been wonderful. Everything's great. I love everything. I can't really complain. I think it was a great decision I made on my part to join.
Yes, decision you made. A lot of people, they get to the front door and they're like, it almost sounds too good to be true. And then they go away, or life gets in the way, and then they don't take advantage. But you just joined. You right away did the 28-arc challenge, which for people that don't know, it's like 7 daily habits. They choose the vice they want to break. What was the vice that you chose? Do you remember? What you've
Alcohol.
chosen?
No drinking alcohol for a month.
Awesome. Because some other challenges like 75 hard, they'll say, oh, you got to do 75 days without all this BS. But 28 days, because that's all it takes. You just need like 3 to 4 weeks, a new habit. They say, honestly, if you do the same thing 2 days in a row, I mean, that's the start of a new habit. But your brain gets so used to the habit of doing the different habits through 28 days is enough sometimes. So yeah, props to you. I'm glad you enjoy the combos with Bryce and Diego. For someone listening that maybe they're sitting at a very low point, Mia, maybe they're at a spot where they don't know what's next tomorrow. What do you want them to know about some highs in life that could be coming?
You're at your lows for a reason. The lowest is there to challenge you because the world knows that you are much more than what your lowest is, and they want you to be able to become that person. Like without the lows, you can't get better. Unfortunately, some lows are lower than as low as some people would want to ever go, but those just push you to strengthen yourself and just be a completely different person in such a positive way. And without that, you can't do that. And it's completely okay to be at your lowest. It's completely okay. It's totally normal. You just don't let that define you. Don't let that be your breaking point. It's just a way to make yourself better.
And be willing to share, right? Be willing to talk to people, surround yourself with others that will lift you up. A lot of people, they have the lone wolf mentality. They try to just go at life all solo. Like I know you said you like to work out by yourself. That's different what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like even beyond outside the gym, surrounding yourself with winners, people that are all pushing each other. We're all going up the mountain and we're trying to let go. I like to use the analogy, but oh crap, I lost her. Okay, well, Mia got disconnected, but she crushed the call. So we're going to go ahead and end it here. Guys, make sure you like, subscribe. Mia's got so much courage for coming on and sharing her show. I'm always looking for the next success story, a part of Team Strength. She's only been a part of us for 30 days. Feels like she's been here for 6 months because she's so active. She comes to the team meetings. She takes advantage of what's in front of her. And that's what you should do as well.